It is not possible for man to see God. The ranks of angels dare not gaze on him, but through it appears to man in our flesh. We magnify him with the heavenly thoughts and call you blessed. Let's say the Lord's Prayer together. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses. Amen. With the souls of the righteous depart, O Lord, where all your saints repose. Give rest to the soul of your servant, for you alone love mankind. Glory to the Father, and to the Son, and to the Holy Spirit. You are the God who descended into hell and freed the Lord have mercy.
Again we pray for the repose of the soul of the new king, that he may be pardoned all of his sins, both voluntary and involuntary.
Lord, have mercy, Lord. Grant it, Lord.
Let us pray to
Since God among mankind, because there is no man who lives and does not sin, for you only are without sin, your now and ever and unto ages of ages. Amen.
wisdom.
Most holy Theotokos, save us.
More honorable than the cherubim, and more glorious beyond compare than the seraphim. Without define magnify you.
Glory to you, Christ, God, our hope. Glory to you.
Glory to the Son.
Most Holy Mother, of the holy, glorious, and all laudable apostles, of our venerable and God-fearing fathers, and of all the saints, establish the soul of his newly fallen asleep servant Robert in the mansions of the righteous. Give him rest in Abraham's bosom, and number him among the just, and have mercy on us as one who is good.
May God be edified and give him rest in Abraham's bosom and number. I will I'll open up the floor to them this evening, and then God willing we'll be able to start for the funeral. Christ is risen.
He is risen.
If anyone can hear me, I think we are recording it too, so people can see. Where's Uncle Joe? Are you ready? Just a few weeks back, after two of his brothers passed and his dog died, called Silence. But I'll keep my head up high, although I sometimes took a break, but he always kept moving. He always kept working. My dad was a hot rod running on the quarter mile. He was born and built to run at high RPM. He never was going to let himself be put in storage. He chewed up pavement nearly every day his whole life, getting rubber in all the gears, and it wore on him. He ran hard until he broke, and now he's gone. Gone from us, and gone to the ages. The story of my dad starts and ends with family. He was one of 12 kids born to Joe and Mary Oginsky. and part of an extended family larger than many American towns. He was proud of his family and to be part of it. He used to poke me in the chest and say, "A standard to live up to." He deeply enjoyed, loved, and worried about his siblings. He died a little Bush, Fred passed away. Frank, Joe, Nick, and Joanne, all to know you are special. You are loved. This is no. Of course, he also dearly loved his grandkids, Garrett, James, Morgan, Alexander, Sophia, who now goes by Rory, and Amelia. Thank you all for being family to my dad, giving him joy, and being the fabric of his and our heritage. My dad married my mom, Diane, in 1970. They shared an intense relationship and produced two amazing men and after their paths diverged, my dad spent a couple years doing, I'm not sure what. I know I found a Huey Lewis and the News concert t-shirt in his dresser, and he had lots of Brute aftershave. After a while, thankfully, Roseanne came into Dad's life. Robert, Max, and I met her at my dad's, and she made a lasagna dinner. Notably, it was really good lasagna. Anyway, it was obvious that Roseanne was good for my dad. They were happy with each other, and she was dedicated to supporting him. They married in 1990 and shared their life journey until my dad passed. Roseanne, we love you, and thank you for making my dad's and our life better. My dad enjoyed having many friends. I appreciate all the good times and laughs I know you had with him. To Al Hanner and the Hanner family, I want to express a special thank you. We spent a lot of time together when I was very young, peacefully enjoying good cheer, singing around a campfire, or spending time in northern Michigan among the pine trees and the lake. You appealed to and brought out my dad's better angels. I'm glad that you were friends and that you were able to speak with my dad the week before he passed. The thing about my dad, I may be it was hard. With help, he did it. I have to say thank you to his sponsor. He would probably say it's okay to get help. Get right with yourself. Get right with the man upstairs. Just keep trying. He also stopped smoking, I think in his 50s, which is pretty amazing considering how much he smoked. Even though he chewed that nicotine gum like he was in a contest, he did. My dad, like all of us, was imperfect. To say he was temperamental would be gentle. He had a fire in him that simmered and sometimes blew up. However, he also took responsibility for himself, cared about his impact on others, and always worked at being a better person. He always worked to grow. This was a big part of what it means to TCB, or take care of your business. I look to this as what it means to be a man or an adult, and for that, he is my hero. I'm going to get into a few stories, but before I do, I also want to relay a nice tribute that the family received from Harold Martin today. He, Danny Scott, and others were part of a racing team that my dad worked with for several years, and those years may have been some of his most enjoyable in terms of the work he was doing. The team wrote, and Harold in particular wrote, "Today the motorsports and automotive industry reflects on a great loss. Words cannot adequately describe our love and wonderful memories. Every once in a while you meet someone who breathes. He was the driving force with perfection, tenacity, and a great team player. Bob was very smart and conceived ideas and solutions that most others struggled with. During our early years of working together, we helped invent new During those days, we developed technology that led to race wins and history. I can recall our winning of the World Championship with Danny Scott and Bob. These were unimaginable accomplishments and were only possible because of Bob's many attributes, including hard work, knowledge, and desire to be the best in the world. With Bob, not a hidden weapon of a great person and friend. I knew with the formation of our dream team, we were going to make history and kick butt. Let there be no question that we love each other and pray daily for God's will. Oginsky family, thank you for sharing Bob with us. Because of Bob, he made us all better, and we want to say thank you all from the bottom of our hearts. So as I mentioned, all of you know I could spend the next year telling great stories about my dad, and maybe I will after tonight. But for now, I'll share just 3 stories to highlight what we can learn from how he lived. In my first story, I was about 12 years old. My dad, brothers, and I returned home to find a man standing in our driveway holding a toolbox. He said, "Bob, it's Christmas, and I need money to buy gifts for my kids. Can I sell you my tools?" And my dad said, "No. I can't take your tools because you're going to need them to work and make your own money." Then he reached for his wallet, pulled out some cash, and said, "But please take this for now." Marriages. My dad was soft-hearted and generous. He wanted to help people, but his instinct also looked for people to take responsibility for themselves. His best gift often was helping others help themselves. A lot of folks found safe harbor in his garage, and in fairness, he got work out of them too. In his practical, blue-collar way, he was a counselor and a guide, and tried to give people a hand up as best he could. May we all do our best with what we have, and look out for others who could use a hand up too. I was anxious when we opened the van door to see everyone dressed in polo shirts, khaki shorts, and boat shoes. I sunk a little further when one dad looked around and exclaimed, "Bob, you have a forklift in your yard?" My dad didn't miss a beat though. He said, "Don't all you guys have a forklift too?" Everyone laughed, and I felt great. Other times, my brothers and I felt bashful about being dirty from work in the garage. He told us, "That's clean dirt. You got that from work. There ain't no reason for you to be shy about it. You can be proud of it." My dad did things that we thought were nuts, and he pulled them off. He pushed to do things at a standard that seemed unreasonable or measured or far away. Friedrich Nietzsche wrote, "Those who hear not music think the dancer is mad." My dad had his own drum, and his way gives us confidence to hear our own music. Be proud of where you come from. Be good to people, to a high standard, and work to meet it. If you do that, know that you have worth because that comes from within you and not the acceptance of others and their expectations. One cannot be extraordinary without being willing to be different than average, so go be you. In my third story, I was in high school. Looking for a car I could drive, I asked my dad if we could fix up the Chevelle sitting in the yard. "Sure," he said, "but you're going to do it with me." I got this picture in my head of how cool we could make it, and we ended up restoring it over the next 3 years. It was tough and often tense. He and I were doing this work after his work at my school. One time, he challenged me to a fist fight after I let out a sigh at something he was asking me to do. He yelled at me, "Everything is a chore for you. You want a chore? Let's go. I'll be your chore." I'm still kind of mad. And work. You can imagine if you have faith enough to try, are humble enough to fail at times, but keep moving, and resolved enough to do the work, you can turn that picture into reality. This is a huge lesson. He often some people watch things happen. Some people make things happen. Then he would say, WRK ain't just a radio station. This was his wiring. He was born to build and pushed to make it happen. Let us all be make it happen people. Maybe we can harness that power to help our world be a better place for each other, just like a family. And you know, like I said, the story of my dad starts and ends with family. In some ways, my dad did not feel totally comfortable recently. He never liked people worrying about him. He had some trouble breathing at times and felt some anxiety. He is at peace now, and it is possible we avoided difficult circumstances in the future. While all of that is true, it is small comfort. Roseanne, my brothers, and I are all so sad. I know many of you are too. I have run out of time to call my dad more or hang out with him in the garage. We didn't finish the Cadillac we were working on. There are no more rides around town in the truck, no more telling stories and jokes, no more laughing with each other, no more having Dad here. I am angry and sad. I feel a hole inside me and a little lost, like floating in space, wondering where to go from here. At the same time, however, I know right where I am and what I am going to do. After the funeral tomorrow, I'll go home and rest. The day after that, I will get up and put one foot in front of the other. I will move forward. And with every last breath I am lucky to have in me, I will live and laugh and cry and love and build. I will try to be a better person as best I can. So I will leave you all with this part from the song Cycles. So I'm down and so I'm out, but so are many others. So I feel like trying to hide my head beneath these covers. Life is life, so I'll keep this smile a while and see what tomorrow. We would like to end tonight with two songs played on accordion. First is Green, Green Grass at Home, which my dad loved to play on the accordion. The second is a waltz. Thank you. Excellent. Thank you very much. Really, thank you everyone for being here tonight. As Father Gabriel said, funerals tomorrow. St. Mary Magdalene, Father Gabriel comes from St. Mary Magdalene, and St. Nicholas Orthodox Church has been gracious enough to let us have service there. So for those who can make it, we will see you tomorrow. And thanks again for coming and caring about our day. Thank you.
Thank you.